The same as a coneflower?
Yes.
But these are colors that I didn't know coneflowers came in.
When you feel good, this is how the colors that are going on in your head. It's for me anyway.
Just look at this. This is the magic of cottage farms. People know echinacea, people know coneflowers, but to get all these colors in one plant.
Yes.
That's the part that I can't figure out.
Well, it's spectacular, and these are Native American plants. They were bred to have all of these bright, bright colors. These will grow in poor soil, but just about all native plants will.
Right.
Poor soil is the way the soil is without doing anything to it. Native plants have to survive in that. These do better than survive. It's non-stop color, and these are perpetuals. Again, I keep saying that word.
Yep.
It's a perennial, which means it comes back every year. It's a perpetual, which means it never stops blooming.
Now, there are other examples where Philip has taken his talents to bring multiple colored plants together in the same pot. That's not what we're talking about here. You'll get all of these colors by nature of this unique plant in each plant.
Yes.
So pick a color, it's there.
It's an absolute rainbow. And again, I mentioned the John Denver Sanctuary earlier in the show.
Out in Aspen?
Out in Aspen. And I saw these out in Aspen. And again, these look beautiful with stone. You can see the earth tones in it, but they're bright. You know, it used to be the earth tones were like, oh yeah, I have a tan garden. I have an ecru garden. Not so much.
Right.
I love the bright colors, and I want a lot of color, and I want it quick, and I want it right now. This is one of the finest border perennials you can ever have. Butterflies are all over it, and the goldfinches come in the fall. It's the only perennial I don't deadhead, because that center of it, which is called the cone, is actually a cone of seeds. And
the birds know it.
The goldfinches come to that, and that brings all the bright yellow flowers. It's like, oh my gosh, you have the yellowbird magnolia in the spring, now you've got the goldfinches in the fall. My goodness, it's going on.
They love full sun.
Yes.
They really don't take a lot of watering, and quite frankly, they look to be a delicate plant. They're not.
Tough as nails, and they also have almost woody stems, so they're great cut flowers. They don't flop all over the place. You don't have to stake these. Bushy and well branched. That's how these were bred. The first time I saw these, I just had a fit, because I'd only seen those kind of dusky pink ones and those kind of off-white ones, which are pretty. I enjoy those. But these colors, these were zinnia colors, or as we say in Mississippi, zinnias.
Zinnia, yeah, that's what we did.
I had to jump right down in the middle of them, because I thought, you know, I think I might look good in this picture. But they're handsome plants, and they're great if you like daisy flowers. It's the brightest colored daisy we offer.
If you want to create a complete garden of it, you want to plant them about 18 inches apart.
Yes.
And that's about how far they'll spread. So it becomes this wonderful carpet of color that you can't get any other way. And so often you've got a choice. Do you want the pink plant? Do you want possibly yellow? With this, it's every color of the rainbow. That one's ready to go.
It's ready to go. This is why we call these perpetuals.
And you're getting 5 of those.
Yes, you're getting 5. These are blooming in the box practically. But again, nice, well-rooted plants. Now, if you go to the nursery, sometimes you'll see something, a coneflower for sale. The plant is never any bigger than this, but it's in a gigantic pot that turns over in the back of your car, and it's hard to transplant. Don't go to all that trouble. This is all you need. This is what you get. You're getting these colors. And again, look at the collection.
There's 5 of them here.
And this, by the way, is what yours will do this year.
Yep.
Yours do this the first season.
Now, we obviously have them in pots because, you know, we have to move them for display, but they thrive in most American soil without a whole heck of a lot of work.
They are low maintenance, high yield, and the deer will not touch these. I talked about the butterfly bushes earlier growing in poor soil. These will grow in poor soil. Now, if you want something and you don't feel like making a flower bed, you've got these growing in poor soil. You've got butterfly bushes also behind it growing in the same poor soil.
And they pop.
Construction grade soil. It doesn't have to be fancy to be beautiful.
I was talking to Philip yesterday. My wife and I just did some pretty massive movement of earth, and I built almost a 200-foot long stone wall, which I thought I'd have done in 3 weeks. Took me 7 months. as a retaining wall. So I asked him, I want to start going with things that have color but are easy to take care of. I don't have time. This came to name right away. By the way, today, that Easy Pay goes away at the end of the day. That's 2 payments of $16.99 to get what would be the equivalent of, again, look at the size of this garden. This is several flats of flowers.
It really is. And think about what you spend on that.
Yep.
And these never stop blooming, and they come back every single year.
They're beautiful.
You get a growing guide that'll tell you all about the coneflowers, but of all the daisy flowers we offer, this is the most colorful. Guess what? It's also the easiest.
Can I mention something? I want to show you a growing guide because this is not a booklet. This is a single piece of 8x10 paper, double-sided print. That's all the information you need from right out of the box to all the way through the end of the season, and everything you need to be a phenomenal gardener. Let's be honest, gardening is competitive.
It is.
You want something that's different than your neighbors, and your neighbor will probably have echinacea or coneflower in their garden, but they won't have these colors.
Not
they
these
will
colors.
have picked one. Maybe they went with the red echinacea or the yellow or maybe the orange. But each one of these plants, and Philip, help me to understand, this boggles my mind.
Yeah.
How one plant can generate so many different solid colored flowers within the same plant.
Well, they came
that
up.
would be like half my hair being blonde and half of it being, brunette.
That could happen.
I have no hair.
I'll send you down to
That
the
was a
salon.
hair fantasy right
well,
there.
Well, all right then. But I have to tell you, I had the same reaction the first time I saw these because I had only seen these in the muted colors, which is, I know you've seen that sort of dusty rose color.
Kind of, it looks like they were bright colors, but it was washed
but they
away.
Faded.
Yeah.
They faded. These are non-fading, constant color like this, great cut flowers. Great to work in your garden. If you want a daisy garden, this will be the most vibrant daisy there. We sell Shastas. I love those because I love the white flowers. They're great with those. But if you want to mix these in with your daylilies, say if you picked up our pink fragrant daylily collection, this is a good companion for that collection also. You want things that come back. You want things that are constant bloom. This is perpetually in bloom in all parts of the country, hands down a winner.
Your garden is a signature of who you are. It defines your home. It lets people who drive by, complete strangers, know something that's special about you as an individual.
Yes.
And everyone's garden should be different from each other. And by the way, some of the work that Philip does is on some of the most expensive gardens anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world. And your clients don't want the next door neighbor's garden looking anywhere near the same.
No, I don't.
You give us a chance to do that at a very, very reasonable price. Here's 5 different plants. That's a good 10 feet of garden for a price tag of under $35. And unless your neighbor is shopping with us, they don't have it.
Well, let me tell you how this is my job insurance. I always meet with my clients.
Right.
Before I do any gardening. We see how we're going to get along. And I'm invariably meeting with the wife. That's who I'm usually meeting with. And so I bring her lots of colors. She wants all of that and all of these certain things in the garden. But I've got to win over the rest of the family to make sure that I get to stay there.
Right.
I put the tomatoes in for the husband because he's going to be all in if we got the tomato garden. I put the daisy flowers in for the children.
Okay.
This is the first flower that children notice, or daisy flowers, because it's in their coloring book. So the kids are all about the daisy flowers. The husband is all about the tomatoes, and then the wife is happy with the whole business because everybody's happy.
We've got to somehow be able to get clearance. You should see this gentleman's client list. Some of the world's best known.
I'll be in big trouble.
I won't give any names.
Well, pick up my book though.
Yeah, yes.
Pick up Garden Magic, and you can see the client's
That's
garden.
a good idea. Some of the best known fashion designers in America count on Philip to design their gardens. Some of America's most well-known entertainers, superstars, count on Philip to make their homes spectacular. And quite frankly, these people have unlimited budgets in which to work with. Philip does the exact same thing for you. And in this case, he's doing it for $31, $33?
It's a big collection because you're getting 5 of these echinacea or coneflowers. These are the rainbow coneflowers. These are perpetuals. They're perennial. They never stop blooming. They come back every year. They're guaranteed for an entire year. This is money in the bank as far as curb appeal goes.
So there are basically two types of plants, your perennials and your annuals.
Yes.
The perennial, that's your investment that comes back free next
Correct.
year. Annuals, you spend again. Look at that garden. I look for those things that, I don't want too orderly, too neat, too straight a rows, which is really a departure from everything else in my life because I'm so anal retentive and, type A. This has kind of a wildness to it that lends itself to being raw beauty.
And it never ever stops blooming. That's what I like. It's like, okay, my stock portfolio did great in August.
Yeah,
The rest of the year, not so great. This is going to be doing great the beginning, middle, and end of the season.
That's true.
It pays a dividend every time one's available.
My crocuses are pretty much done already.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. I mean, we're not even into April, but we were so early in the warmth this season. This is all year. We're going back. Let's go back to our tomatoes. Before we do, though, if you did get that yellow magnolia tree,
Yes.
You'll love it, and you'll love it for 100 years. They are completely gone at this point.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, it is, we got about 6 minutes till the top of the hour. Let me preach for just a second, and I pardon if I get a little excited on this, but Philip and I launched this just a couple days ago. An opportunity to grow some of the biggest, tastiest, juiciest, true beefsteak tomatoes. These are an Amish bred tomato that came from our backyard. We are broadcasting from the Brandywine Valley area of Pennsylvania. That's where the red was bred.
Mercy.
But this was bred back in the 1800s.
1888 is when the pink one came out, and then we got the orange one, which came out just recently. It came from the same stock. So we've got all of this color. Look how they look on a pizza.
That's just
Look
a
at
thing,
that.
That's a thing of beauty to me.
Oh my gosh.
And the difference, by the way, in tomatoes, color does mean a difference in flavor. If the only tomato you've ever eaten came out of a grocery store and it had a little green plastic tray and cellophane over it, you've never tasted a tomato. Because American production tomatoes, those that grow in large fields for production, were bred just so the skin was hardy, just so it was thick, like a sausage casing.
So they can pick it with a mechanical picker. That's what they look like on your deck.
I love that. I love that right by the front door. Now, I would do that.
Don't you know it?
Yes.
Don't you know it? Then the husband's happy. I love that part of it too. Gorgeous tomatoes, and that I had it from the very first time last summer. That beautiful orange.